Henry Cavill, the Superman who carried the weight of worlds. He was the Man of Steel reborn for a modern age, a hero forged in shadows, burdened with godhood, and yet deeply, achingly human. For millions, Henry Cavill was Superman, and for over a decade, his portrayal would become one of the most fiercely debated, passionately defended, and unmistakably iconic in all of superhero cinema. This is the story of Henry Cavill's Superman, from first flight to final farewell. It began in 2011 when director Zack Snyder, entrusted with rebooting DC's most sacred symbol, selected a relatively unknown British actor to don the cape. Henry Cavill, once a runner-up for the role in earlier failed attempts like Superman Flyby, finally stepped into the red boots for Man of Steel, a film designed to ground the last son of Krypton in a more introspective and morally complex world. Premiering in 2013, Man of Steel was a Superman origin story unlike any before it. Gone was the crystal-clear optimism of Christopher Reeve's era. In its place, a Clark Kent torn between alien heritage and human upbringing, haunted by the responsibility his powers carried. It was divisive. To some, it was a betrayal. Superman wouldn't let a city burn. To others, it was brave, a meditation on power, choice, and identity in a cynical world. But through it all, Cavill's performance anchored the film with sincerity. He played Clark as a man constantly holding back, terrified of what he could do, yet desperate to do good. What drew me to Superman was that he is a symbol of hope, Cavill once said. But I wanted to explore what it would really be like to carry that burden, to try and be perfect when the world doesn't always let you. Behind the scenes, Cavill was as heroic as the character he portrayed. He endured months of intense training to craft a body befitting an alien god. He read the comics extensively, particularly stories like The Death of Superman and Birthright. And most importantly, he brought a genuine respect for the role, often engaging with fans and advocating for the character's continued presence in the DC universe. In 2016, Cavill's Superman returned in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, a darker, bolder chapter that plunged the hero into controversy both in-universe and among audiences. Pitted against Ben Affleck's Batman, Cavill's Clark faced moral scrutiny, godlike judgment, and political warfare. This Superman was mournful, silent, and to some, lacking warmth. But even critics acknowledged the ambition. Snyder envisioned Superman as a messianic figure, crucified by fear, resurrected by sacrifice, and Cavill committed fully. His final moments in BVS, giving his life to stop Doomsday, added a mythic dimension that few actors could have grounded so believably. The following year, Justice League arrived, but not the version originally intended. Studio interference led to extensive reshoots, a disjointed tone, and the now infamous digital removal of Cavill's mustache, due to a scheduling conflict with Mission Impossible Fallout. The result? A Superman performance that felt patchwork and uneven. It wasn't until 2021, with the release of Zack Snyder's Justice League, that fans finally saw Cavill's full arc. Dressed in the black suit of resurrection, his Superman was regal, composed, and awe-inspiring. His silent entrance into the final battle, taking the brunt of Steppenwolf's axe and not flinching, became an instant fan-favorite moment. Through it all, Cavill remained vocal about his love for the role. In interviews, he spoke not as a man chasing stardom, but as someone who believed in Superman. "There is still so much I want to do with the character," Cavill said in 2019. Superman is not the finished article. He has room to grow, to reconnect with humanity, to show that he's not just a god, but a man who chooses to do good. That growth, however, never came. Despite a surprise mid-credits appearance in Black Adam in 2022, which reignited fan hopes, it was soon announced that Cavill would not be continuing as Superman. A new DC regime, led by James Gunn and Peter Safran, was charting a different course. And so, Cavill's Superman journey ended not with a cinematic epic, but with a social media post. Gracious, poised, and bittersweet, Cavill addressed his departure. "My turn to wear the cape has passed, but Superman is still around. Everything he stands for still exists, and the examples he sets for us are still there." In the pantheon of live-action Supermen, Cavill stands unique. Reeve was the embodiment of hope, Routh, the quiet successor to legacy. Hoechlin, the grounded family man. Cavill, he was the myth, the burdened titan, the idea of Superman made flesh in an age that didn't know if it still believed in heroes. His greatest contribution, he reminded us that Superman is not just a smile and a cape, but a struggle, a journey, a choice. Henry Cavill's Superman was never allowed to finish his story, but perhaps that's fitting. Like the character he played, he was constantly misunderstood, challenged, even sidelined, yet always unwavering in his belief in what Superman meant. He didn't just play the last son of Krypton, he became the Superman of an uncertain world. And in doing so, he carried more than the cape, he carried the weight of worlds.